What's up, guys? So this is a kind of quick DIY hack for the ND filters provided by Polar Pro. I ordered these off Amazon practically a year ago now, and when I purchased them, the description read that they fit the Phantom 4 Pro, and it turns out that they do not. So basically the diameter of this ring here is too small to properly thread onto the front of the camera of the Phantom 4 Pro. And when I ran into the issue, I pretty much just put it to the side and kept life moving, and now so much time has passed by that I don't even want to attempt to do a return on them. So I'm trying to figure out a way to salvage them. So I've come up with the bright idea to just use the normal cover that is on the front of the drone when purchased, and attempt to basically remove the ND filters and then just kind of sit them inside of this area here, and hopefully still have enough room to thread the front cover back onto the drone and still be able to use these. So what I've done is I've grabbed a small eyeglass flathead screwdriver, and after examining these, I noticed that basically this rotates, which lets me know that the housing pretty much separates at this threshold. And then I also noticed that there is a crease between the housing and the actual ND filter and or polarizer here. So what I'm gonna do is take this small Phillips head and place it inside of that crease and attempt to start wiggling this out. Now I've already done one of these prior to making this video, which is this one here, and as you can see in the video, there is pretty much like this light spot over here on the left, and that's from me attempting to pry this out a little prematurely. You want to push deep down into the housing so that you don't separate the two glass elements that make up this polarizer. So basically there's two elements sandwiched together, and when I tried to pry it out, I ended up prying just one instead of going a little deeper into the housing and making sure I'm prying them both at the same time. So this go round, I'm gonna try to do it a little bit better. And what I have learned is the best way to do this is to pretty much sandwich the Phillips, the flathead, in that crease, press all the way down until it kind of stops, and then wiggle it a little bit. And you want to work your way around the entire ND filter and housing in that manner. So let me see if I can give you a good idea of where I am. Boom. You see where the flathead is being inserted? It's right in between that crease where the filter meets the housing. And I'm just kind of wiggling it around, loosening it up from the adhesive and kind of gel stripping that's beneath this. So you want to do that all the way around. Taking your time, like I said, and making sure you're not prying between the two glass elements that make up the ND filter. I'm so lazy, I'm recording this video in bed because I'm also trying to spend some time with my lovely lady, so she's watching me do this and laughing. So like I said, I'm just kind of making my way around slowly, giving it a little wiggle. And once I've done this in about 5 or 6 different areas, I will attempt to pry the glass element out. And again, I'm going to be careful to make sure that I'm not trying to pry it up prematurely, and I'm making sure the flathead pushes all the way down to the housing between that crease, so that I'm not separating those two elements that are sandwiched together. And I'll explain what I mean in a minute. Let me check my progress. Okay, so I have successfully pried this one up, and even in this video, if you look closely, you can see that the polarizer has two sandwiched elements together. So those are the two that I'm referring to when I say make sure you press far enough down that when you begin to pry it out, you're not prying in a manner that's going to separate them. That's the main trick. That's the mistake I made with the first one. But it's trial and error, you live and learn. And now that I have this separated, I'm sure it's going to fit inside the factory housing that is provided by DJI. This one right here. I'm sure it'll fit inside there. And it does. Now the big question is, will it still thread? Which to me it looks like it has more than enough room to still thread onto the front of the camera. So we're just going to see how that works really quick, and then maybe a day in the future I'll provide some test footage showing you the difference between with the ND filter on and not. Okay, so I've moved my drone into the frame where you can pretty much see the front of the camera. And again, this is the cover that I just merely twisted off and then put back on just now. And here is the ND filter that I just pried out. So I'm going to go ahead and slip it in, just drop it in there, and begin to attempt to thread with the ND filter kind of sandwiched in there. Okay, I feel like it's already caught. Maybe not. Hold on. See, you have to be cautious because you have taken up some of the space inside of here, and you want to make sure that you don't tighten it too much. Just snug enough to be secure, which that feels good. As you can see, there is a gap now, but that's because again some of the space has been taken up inside, and you can see the ND filter is safely housed in there. And I can't wait to give this a try. Now at this point the gimbal is weighted down in the front, and I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue, but we won't know until we give this a test shot and actually turn it on. I could probably turn on right now actually and see what happens. I think it's kind of calibrating the weight, and boom, I feel like it's got it. Uh-oh, I see it twitching. I don't know. Okay, it seems relatively stable. I'm trying to give it a shake and see if I notice anything, but so far so good. So here is some test footage. The first clip you're going to see is without the filter, and then this one is with the filter, and then again without the filter and with the filter. Personally, I couldn't tell much of a difference, but this was my first time using it, and then I continued to use them and got this footage that you're seeing now, which I think is a little more evident of how you can generate a soft cinematic looking image. I did run into one issue when spinning the drone 360. I noticed that with this filter on the front, it did cause a delay in the horizontal or roll axis, where it'll be out of whack and then it'll slowly ease into position. It wasn't a huge issue, but it's something to consider. Overall, I am pleased with the image quality. If you find yourself in a similar situation, I do suggest doing the same. And remember to like, comment, click, subscribe, click the bell to receive notifications when I update and upload more videos. Thank you guys for watching.